Okay. Hi, everyone. Hopefully, everyone can hear us okay. Um, Thanks for joining us today, and welcome to our Connect and Build webinar series with GATship and Transar. Just wait a couple of minutes for people to join us. But whilst we do that, just to introduce myself, I'm Ella. I'm part of the marketing team here at Sedna. And before we get started, just a bit of housekeeping. So, since this is a webinar, you'll notice that your microphones are muted and your cameras are off. If you have any questions during the session, please pop them in the Q&A box below. We'll run for about 40 minutes of presentation and then leave time for questions at the end. We'll go through the Sedna and GATship integration and discuss how Transar are leveraging this to put their employees' happiness at the centre of their operations. And joining me today, Armand Haldorsen, Chief Product Officer at GATship, Henk Biechevel, Managing Director of Rotterdam at Transar. And then we have Rob Dickey, Group Product Manager at Sedna, and Charlie Parkhouse, Port Agency Account Executive at Sedna as well. So I will hand over now to Rob and Charlie, and thank you again for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks, Ella. And thanks everyone for attending. Really excited to be doing this together with GATship and Transar. So my name is Rob. I'm a group product manager here at Sedna. I've worked at Sedna for the past 5 years, but I've spent the last 15 years building software in the maritime space. Prior to Sedna, I was working at a shipping agency in the UK. That's where I helped lead several technology and digital transformation projects. And as Ella mentioned, I'm joined by Charlie Parkhouse, who's our port agency account executive. So Charlie, do you want to give a quick intro?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Really nice to meet you all. My name's Charlie. I'm one of the port agency account executives here at Sedna. Joined Sedna sort of a year and a half ago and sort of worked on the business development representative side of it, and recently moved to the account executive. So very familiar with the challenges you're all incurring within your sort of industry.
Cool. And we're going to start off by talking a bit about those problems in the industry today. So do you want to kick us off, Charlie, with the port call challenge?
Sure. So it goes without saying that shipping is a 24/7 industry and port agents are right at the coalface of every single movement. In many ways, you're the heartbeat of the voyage, the people who keep everything moving when everyone else is asleep. And across the life of a port call, as you well know, an agent might communicate with dozens of different stakeholders, from ship owners, charterers, terminals, pilots, customs, you name it, you probably communicate with them. So the list is almost endless. And the role agents play isn't just important, it's critical. So you're the people who are quayside at 3 a.m., making sure a vessel gets what it needs. You're the people who are supposed to pull information together from everywhere, often under some significant time pressure. And you're the people who are expected to push out updates quickly and reliably to a huge number of parties, all of whom depend on you to keep the port call running smoothly. Now, the reality is, when something goes wrong, everyone looks to you as the agent first. And when things go right, it's usually because of the work you've done in the background.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, and just to talk a bit about the evolution of agency communication. So this is a bit of a history lesson here, but the story of shipping communication is a story of constant evolution. So every few decades, a new medium arrives, from telegraph to telex to fax, all promising to deliver a critical leap in speed and efficiency over the last. And this is the rhythm of our industry, consistently seeking faster ways to transact. And the primary goal of each of these shifts has always been simple, is just to reduce manual effort, accelerate the vessel turnaround, and make the previous technology obsolete. So the transition to digital communication was massive, for this industry, standardizing the work through the PC and, the introduction of email. But while email was powerful, it was designed for this point-to-point correspondence and not for this complex, collaborative, and data-intensive nature of modern port agency operations. So it gave us a new tool, but it didn't fundamentally solve how we effectively manage the flow of operational data across an entire team and a port call. So we're now in this kind of new pivotal evolutionary moment as well. The next step isn't just a new communication tool, but it's genuine digital integration. So the agencies that are truly ready for the future, they're focusing on making the conversation and the work synonymous. So this shift is about moving beyond just managing messages to actually managing the work itself, and doing that by connecting the conversation directly to the operational data and automation. And just this is a bit of a dramatization, but it's not far from what we see, when we speak to some agents every day. And if you work in port agency and you haven't felt like this, trying to piece together the port call status from 7 different email threads, internal chats, a faded sticky note, a folder and a binder here or there, then you're probably the exception. But I'll hand back to Charlie now to talk a bit more about the actual problem that many agents are facing today.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Just following on from that, within email, this is where we believe a lot of the operational pain really begins. So before an email can even travel across a network, it was literally a way to just send a simple text message to someone on the same computer. Think of it of like a digital sticky note for the next person who logged in. And that's the foundation that email was built on. It was never designed for, shared inboxes, high volume operational workflows, or the velocity and variety we deal with in the maritime world. And yet, that's exactly what port agencies are relying on every single day. So, what do? We try to handle it with shared mailboxes and distribution lists, all with the intention of making sure nothing gets missed and everything gets responded to quickly. But here's the problem with email being a point to point messaging system, we use it as if it's a multi party 360-degree operational platform. So we're asking technology built for simple one-to-one messaging to keep hundreds of people aligned across multiple time zones on critical port cooperations and then competing against other interests. These two things are simply not compatible. Technology was supposed to be an enabler, but what we're seeing is that it's actually becoming a bit of a bottleneck for companies. And I think Rob's going to now talk about a few of these stats that we're seeing within the industry.
Yeah, thanks, Charlie. So yeah, it wouldn't be a presentation without a little bit of data in there. So this is a case study that we ran with a few of our port agency customers back in February 2025. And what this does is it shows the volume of communications exchanged, so emails exchanged across, an average across those four customers. And the key takeaway here is that the volume of external communication remains intense. The average port call can still generate 275 plus emails. And that number is non-negotiable. That's the reality of coordinating across multiple stakeholders. These are the emails that you must send and receive in order to do the job. So putting that in perspective, that is kind of a comparison of the Sedna story versus kind of the everyone else story. So what you see represented by this massive block here on the right is the true number of emails per port call, and these are agencies that are not using Sedna's workflow. So this volume can actually be over 1,100 emails. And what makes this huge difference? Well, that colossal number is actually made up by the internal noise that floods those traditional inboxes. So this would be the unnecessary replies, the forwards, the FYIs, the duplication that's required to just simply get everybody on the same page. And this is where Sedna provides some critical value is we deduplicate the messages, we eliminate those unnecessary replies, and we cut down on that internal noise with collaborative features. So, it's not kind of a fairy tale when we say we can drop that 1,100 figure down to the unavoidable 275 necessary external messages. So simply what we do there is we eliminate the unnecessary work. And then just over to you, Charlie, to kind of, recap on what we just spoke about there.
Yeah, sure. And this is really the core issue, like why traditional email keeps failing agencies and other maritime sort of professionals. The beast that it is, Outlook, for most of us, is the default, but it's a general purpose tool built for the masses, not for high pressure, high volume operational work that you're typically dealing with in the agency space. And because Outlook's had no competition, it's almost had no real innovation. So think about how far your other systems have come in the last 10 years. Your TMS, your port call software, your vessel systems, they've all evolved massively. But email, it's barely changed, especially within the last decade. And that's why so many of the failures that we're seeing keep happening. And just to mention a few, information overload, hundreds of messages, multiple parties, countless threads, time consuming email management through foldering, forwarding, chasing, and searching, missed opportunities and missed updates because critical information gets buried within these inboxes, and system fatigue. The team are spending more time managing email than they are managing the port call. So, what we like to think of it is we like to, port agents need data quickly and they need to act accurately on it. And when we speak about Sedna in a minute, hopefully that will become apparent.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, and I'm just going to lead us into the kind of joint part of the session there with GAT. So just to talk a little bit more about Sedna ourselves. So, we are an email solution for the maritime industry. So we're founded in 2017 by Bill Doby, maritime software entrepreneur. And he'd been working in the industry both at the coalface and then on the software solution side. And Bill recognized that the current standard email that was failing the maritime industry. And so Sedna was kind of his answer to that. It was founded on the belief that agencies and operators deserve a tool that's built specifically for the volume and complexity of shipping. So we're not a generalized tech company, we are maritime specialists. And today we're proud to serve hundreds of the most prominent shipping organizations in the world, from owners and operators to leading agency groups of all sizes. And our mission's simple. Let's provide the next generation platform that allows you to focus on work, not admin. And we deliver this by giving our customers a system that provides the speed, stability required by a high volume environment, coupled with that 360 visibility necessary for that total team collaboration. And most importantly, we integrate this deeply yet seamlessly into your existing business technology stack. So something that we really value is the collaboration of our key partners in the provision of these integrations. And so, I'm delighted to hand over to Amon from GAT, one of our partners there, to talk a bit more about that forward-thinking approach to these integrated solutions for our mutual customers.
Okay, thanks, Rob. My name is Almund. I work in GAT as a product manager. So I'm happy to present today the integration that we have between GAT software and Sedna. First, a few words about GAT. We are a Norwegian software company and we were founded back in 2005. But actually, we have been working in this domain of port agencies since 1995, where we had our first version of GAT. It was called Ship-Ahoy at that time. So we are celebrating 30 years this year to assisting port agencies doing their important and difficult job. Today with GAT, we handle around 110,000 port calls per year. And we handle both the operational stuff, everything that happens from day to day and hour to hour. And we also handle all the financial stuff of these port calls because there's a huge amount of expenses that needs to be handled in a correct way to get a complete overview and process related to the port calls. This team that we have here in Norway is a combination of former port agents and a lot of developers trying to build software for port agents in a good way. So let's leave the company presentation to that and try to switch over to the integration with Sedna. I will try to give you just a high-level overview on the concept of the integration, and then Henk from Saar, he will go more into the details. So, GAT and Sedna, how does this work together? Starting with GAT, we are handling a lot of port calls, different vessels. For each port call, there's a different set of stakeholders. It could be your customers, of course, and also your suppliers, handling different kind of services related to the port call. For all the port calls, there's also a lot of expenses to be handled. That means all the supplier invoices that you receive and need to check, and of course also your customer side of it with all the invoices that you create to your customers. And as Charlie and Rob said, handling a port call involves a lot of emails that must be sent and must be replied to and handled during the port call. It starts long before the vessel arrives and it keeps on going also after the vessel is sailed. So common for all our customers is that they need to deal with a lot of emails. And that's probably one of the most tricky parts, to keep track and have a good overview and to process all these emails in an efficient way. And here is where Sedna comes in, because with GATship and Sedna together, we can use the best of two worlds to handle all this port agency stuff together. And what we see with Sedna is that they have a very good workflow to handle a huge amount of emails in a structured way, making it easy to get an overview and to search for emails, and to avoid that every agent in every agency that you have needs to look into all the emails. And I'm not an expert on Sedna, I have to say that, but the key features that we found very useful is the tagging system within Sedna. Because to handle the huge amount of emails, they have some green tags that separate different jobs from each other. And in this context, a job is equal to a port call. So that's the green tags of Sedna. And these colors, they are important. So the green tags are the port calls. And to separate different kind of emails from each other, there's also some blue tags that can be different categories of emails. And of course, in a huge agency, there are different teams that will handle different port calls. It could be different departments, for example, in different parts of the country where you operate, or in maybe also in different countries if you are a multinational agency. And in the middle of all of this, it's a lot of users that are actually sending the emails and answering questions from the stakeholders. So what we try to do is to use the best from GATship and to integrate with these best parts of Sedna, of course, to make an optimal workflow for the agents. And I'll show you now more how we can do this. So everything starts in GATship, where you create new port calls and keep track on existing port calls. These port calls, they include a lot of information about different stakeholders, expenses, documents, and so on, and of course, email. And the integration with Sedna, it starts immediately after a port call is established in GATship. Because at the moment where a port call is created, we generate this green tag for the job, and we push it into Sedna immediately after the port call is created. So we have a link to Sedna from the very beginning of each port call. When the agents are working with the port calls, they probably need to create emails in an early stage of this project of the port call. So inside GATship, there's a lot of different create email buttons within different parts of the software. And the common thing is that when you create an email, you need to select an email template, because when you're handling port calls, you are typically sending the same email over and over again, but of course with different port calls and to different stakeholders every time. So what we do within the email templates is that we have a lot of codes combined with the standard text of the email templates, so that we can reuse these templates over and over again for different port calls. So after selecting the template to be used, we indirectly also assign a blue tag to the email, because these different email templates, they are for different purposes, so we can use the blue tags to separate these templates from each other. Okay. Next step would, of course, be to add the recipients. You can do that in GATship, or you can do that later on in Sedna in the workflow as well. And then the magic starts to happen, because we then run through a kind of search and replace function where we, based on the current port call where you are creating an email and the current templates that you selected, we replace all these codes with real values from the port call. So you could say that we use the template to create an email draft. And this draft is opened within the Composer window in Sedna as a new email. And the nice thing is that when this email draft is created, we have already applied all these tags. We have the pink one for the team that creates the email. We have the gray one for the user actually creating this email on behalf of his team. We know what kind of email it is because of the blue tag, and we know which job this email belongs to because of the green tag. And then you can kind of finalize the email within Sedna, and when you are done, you just press send to send it to the relevant recipients. Just to give you a short example, if you are familiar with Sedna, I guess some of you already are. This is a screenshot from the Sedna email composer where we opened a draft email based on some kind of template for this Nemuna vessel, a specific voyage number. And we see that this email is created from the team here in Porsgrunn. So that's one of the agencies in my organization. So this could be similar to what you're doing maybe in Outlook today. It's just an email composer where you do the final stuff and you send the email. But behind the scenes in Sedna, you will find these tags. You will find the green tag and the blue tag, which is assigned based on the job and based on the email template that you selected within GATship. And then you send it, and it goes to your customer or other stakeholders. So when you send this email, you probably get some replies to it. That means that you will be working a lot in Sedna to handle all these emails. Each of the teams have their own inbox where they have a lot of emails, of course, for different green tags, meaning different port calls, and for different categories of email using the blue tags. So you are, of course, working directly from Sedna, where you send and receive emails all the time. And then from the GATship side, you are switching between GATship and Sedna, and you work with a specific port call. For example, this port call for Nemuna, which has a unique green tag to identify that port call. And what we do is that we constantly are speaking with Sedna using the Sedna API, so that for every port call that you are working with, you can always see a subset of the team inbox emails within GATship, and that is all the emails that is related to this specific port call. So this means that it's easy to find what you're looking for in GATship, and of course also in Sedna with the powerful search functions they provide in Sedna. So this was the high-level overview on how the integration is working today. So let me summarize. What we do here is that in GATship, we are organized by different departments or agencies. For example, 3 Norwegian agencies, one in Bergen, one in Oslo, and one here in Porsgrunn. And we map these GAT ship agencies to the Sedna teams within Sedna. We do the same for the users. Of course, we have a lot of users in GAT ship. We have the same users in Sedna, and we need to make a one-time setup to map them together. Then we have these blue tags or category tags, which we connect. We create them in Sedna, and we connect them to the different email templates within GAT ship. All these three things is a kind of a one-time setup that you do when you onboard to Sedna from GAT ship. But the really powerful feature is the green tags, because each time you create a new port call, you will create the green tag automatically and get the communication to flow between GAT ship and Sedna. And this is very dynamic. If you need to change something for the port call, maybe the port call was planned with a specific vessel, but the vessel might change. So then the green tag would be updated. Some of our customers want to have the ETA date as a part of the green tag. Then you can add that, and the green tag will change if you change the ETA. So there's a live communication going on all the time between GAT ship and Sedna in this context. So I hope that was a kind of overview and how this integration are working. And I will now hand it over to Henk from Saar so he can show more details on how this is working in a live agency.
Thank you, Amund. Everybody sees my screen now?
Yeah.
Good. Saar, brief introduction. Founded in 1988, 37 years and ongoing. Myself with the company for 21 years. Part of the Dillinger Group, a big German steel factory. Over the years, we have grown into a company that supplies 24/7 service across the ARA ports. And each year we coordinate, and that's basically our main cargo types. It's dry bulk materials needed in the steel factory. Altogether, roughly 12.5 million tons of cargo per year. And our services include the ship agency, as many of the viewers probably will also have. We do some custom clearance, a big part inland waterway to get all the raw materials to the hinterland in Germany. And part of that cargo is also going by train, so we also have some rail logistics. Our relatively small agency department with 4 operators handles between 375 and 400 vessels per year. But even that relatively small amount of port calls leads to a huge number of emails, which is one of the reasons that we were looking for a solution for that, and that we found in Sedna. So like I said, we expertise in the bulk goods, but also project cargo, bunker calls, just handover calls and crew change calls. In 2008, we found a connection with GAT ship. And up to 2008, we were working like many agents were working, and perhaps still are, if you're not using software like GAT ship. You were just copying old Word documents, old Excel documents, using them as a template, but always with the risk that old information would be, visible in the new document where it shouldn't be visible. And then GAT ship came into the picture, and for us it was a massive step forward. As Amund already explained, the system uses basically a single source of master data, and it allows us to automatically generate almost all the operational documents we need. Statement of facts, port logs, notice of readinesses, and basically all other documents that you can think of, as long as you are making a template for it, you can use it in your daily work. The embedded template codes pull all the correct data from the relevant port call, and the risk of carrying over wrong information or displaying wrong information is basically completely eliminated. And it's fair to say that GetShip became the backbone of our operational documentation. Of course, there's also an era before Sedna, and that's basically Outlook. Like Charlie said and Rob said, Outlook is fine if it's for one-to-one communication, but we did find that Outlook, when the email volumes just started increasing, just Outlook was just not cutting it anymore. We were already having a connection between GetShip and Outlook, and all the outgoing emails from GetShip were stored in Outlook, but incoming messages still had to be dragged and dropped. They're all working with two screens, so basically you were just 24/7, you were dragging and dropping emails from Outlook to GetShip. And there's always a risk, of course, that you would forget to save important messages in GetShip. On the Outlook side, the operators would create countless folders to keep things organized, which only made the searching more complicated. Finding old emails was not always straightforward, and sometimes messages simply couldn't be located. And just overall, the complete email process consumed a lot of valuable time. And they spent just a significant part of the day dragging, dropping, sorting, searching through emails instead of focusing on their daily operations. Then we met with Sedna. It was during a user conference in Riga, and the presentation made us think, okay, this might be something for us. And I can say it just transformed our entire workflow. The setup was quick, everything is cloud-based, so there was basically no disruption for our team. I can honestly say the setup, it took less than 2 hours, of course, but we are a small agency. I can imagine it takes a little bit longer and it's a little bit more involved if you have multiple offices in multiple countries. And we are now in a situation where we no longer depend on folder structures. All the messages go straight into just a big email archive and are extremely easy to find. Our Exchange server is still running, of course, because the server forwards all the incoming email to the Sedna stream. And thanks to the integration with GetShip, every email is automatically tagged to the correct job or vessel, and all the replies that you receive on those emails inherit the same job tag. Our working hours are managed way better than before. During office hours, our operators basically work. That's a personal choice, but it's in my view the best way to work. They work from their personal focus box, and that is an email box where they only see the vessels that they are the person in charge for, because that information is also being sent from GetShip to Sedna. And after office hours, they monitor the general agency inbox, because of course then they do need to read all emails. So then they have to read the general inbox. Of course, there's also messages that are not automatically tagged or just have no tag at all or whatever. Sedna has something beautiful for that. They call it a safety net. It's also a separate folder where you can just, if you have some time, just go into the folder and go through the emails and assign them to a job, or assign them, in this case, that's a port call, assign them to a user, or if it's not important at all, just archive them so that they're not visible for anyone any longer. We also use the category tags and keyword-based workflows. It's basically what Outlook has as rules. It's an easy way to automatically tag, let's say, position list that you receive in the morning, or Even our spam messages, we have a workflow for that. And every morning, the next day, Sedna deletes all the spam messages across all the boxes. It's very efficient to keep the database somewhat clean. The search function in Sedna is something, because finding emails was always an issue, especially when you had to go into archives. Sedna is just basically one big archive. It's extremely powerful searching tool. We can search by job tag, by category tag, personal tag, keywords, any combination, who you send it to, who you received it from. It's just a fantastic searching system. The system also avoids duplicates. There's like Rob and Charlie said, how you go from 1,100 emails to 275 emails per port call. We only share shortcuts internally. So there's no duplication of emails in any form. There's only one truth, basically, one email. So how does it look from the operator view? So on the left side, it's a very small part of how the GetShip whiteboard looks. And in this case, it's the operator with the initials MB. And I filtered it on these initials. So you can see that we are expecting two vessels, the Rix Delta and the Xin Mai. And if you then have a look at the second picture, you see the focus box of this operator. And it shows you that he only sees the emails that are either sent personally to him, that he is tagged in, as a follower, or in this case, the messages that have the relevant green tags. It's extremely powerful, and it just means that they no longer need to screen the hundreds of messages in the agency box, which are, in the office hours, are just not so important to them. They solely work within their own personal scope. And then on the right side, it is the email tab that is in every port call of GetShip. And there you will find the complete email trail, both incoming and outgoing, neatly linked to the vessel. And this just brings structure, alignment, and clarity to our entire communication flow. Okay, some final thoughts to round it up. People always want to know what is your time saving on a daily basis. It's very hard to quantify. It's all little bits and pieces here and there. But the real value becomes very clear when we are talking to the operators. They experience a significant increase in peace of mind. You can basically work towards an empty focus box by the end of the day. During office hours, they only monitor this personal box, so the constant pressure to read, sort, and filter every email, it simply disappears. It reduces their cognitive load and improves the decision making. It gives them more clarity, more focus, and more time to work on the operation itself. These mental and operational benefits are just as important as measurable time savings, and they significantly enhance the overall quality of our service. And that was my part. Over to either Charlie or Rob.
Yeah, thanks, Henk. So I'll take over the screen share if that's okay, Henk, and I'll just do
sure.
the final bits. Thank you.
Sorry. Yep.
No worries. Thanks. Awesome. So really appreciate that, and Henk, talking through that was, really helped to put it in context of how, the value is being brought by both the systems connected together. If anyone on the call is interested in learning more, if you're a Sedna customer, a GatShip customer, or neither, here's the details. So you can reach out to, if you're a Sedna customer, you're a Sedna account manager, GatShip customer, there's some details for your contacts at GatShip there as well. And Henk, I believe you also extended the invite if anyone's in the Rotterdam area.
Absolutely.
You're happy to
Absolutely.
entertain some visitors to
Yep.
talk through it.
Come in for a coffee and we'll show you whatever you want to see.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you very much. And I think that kind of rounds everything off. We're happy to move in to some Q&A for now. So Ella, I don't know if there's been anything pop up through the session.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple of questions. Henk, and thank you so much again. That was brilliant. So I've got a question for Henk. Compared to Transar, we work with 13 operators split over 3 offices. How fast was the transfer between Outlook and Sedna?
Um, the so I guess yours means the onboarding process. I'll just take it like that. It was extremely fast. It just needed some setup on the exchange side to install the correct forwards to Sedna, and we were literally within 2 hours we were running. So, and I see that Robert wants to answer something live as well.
Well, yeah, I clicked answer live there as well. But yeah, Hank, I think that's a good point. The technical setup is one part, which is obviously, very quick to configure things like forwarding. And then, of course, the real, I guess, fun and games is having the folks move over. And that's something that our team in Sedna supports you with. So we do, training and onboarding to bring you along the journey as well. So, Sedna is just email, but it's a different way to think about email. So that's obviously where we come in and help bring the team thinking more about that kind of email in the team context, using collaboration features and the like. So, yeah, whilst it's a quick way to get going, of course, there's a bit of kind of spin up time from the human perspective. But yeah, we're here to help you at each step of the way.
Great, thank you. Our next question, this is one for Armand. When we tag attachments, we can get them auto archived into document slash folder slash database in GATship.
That was a tricky one. I'm not sure if I understood the question.
So are we able to, when we tag attachments, can we get them auto archived into the documents folder slash database in GATship?
Oh, it's not the attachments that are tagged, it's the email. So what you do is that you tag an email, and then the email will appear automatically in GATship. And from the email, you can easily see a preview inside GATship, and you can open the attachments. But the attachments themselves are not tagged the same way as the email.
Great, thank you. Henk, can you see that next one? So Henk, are you also using Sedna slash GATship combination for your financial slash invoicing processes?
No, we are not. We were using GetShip for a while just to create the final DA, but our bookkeeping system was so outdated it could not do any imports. So we then decided on getting a new financial software which had a module for the final DAs. So we are using that. So GetShip is for us purely operational, not financial.
Okay, thank you. Rob, do you want to take this next one?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Joris, for that question. So, is the team of Sedna visiting our office for the onboarding of our staff, or is it done via Teams and Zoom? And the answer is, it could be both. We're able to kind of support however you would prefer, onboarding whatever you're most comfortable with. We do offer kind of remote options if you're quite comfortable, getting to grips with things yourself. If you've got kind of, champions and super users on site, we'll definitely give you all the tools you need to be successful with a remote launch. But alternatively, if you did want, people on site and present there, happy to support with that too. So it's entirely your choice, how you want to kind of go live and launch and the level of hand-holding that you need along the way. But yeah, we've got options to suit both types.
Henk, the next one's for you.
Yeah. No much. The pre-arrivals that we receive in Sedna, we just have to download them, save them, and then upload them to Portbase. There's no automation in place for that.
Great, thank you. And then our next question, can you put some words on the crew change integration between Sedna and GATship?
I think Amund, that might be best suited for you.
Yeah, I get all the tricky questions. I'm not sure what you are asking for actually, but the crew change is like all other emails, I guess. It works the same way. You can kind of uh, extract data from an incoming email with crew change, and you can smart paste that into GetShip now with the new AI technology. And it's easy to from GetShip to have templates for crew change so that you can easily compose emails with the name of the different crew members for embarking and disembarking and send it. So um, I need to get some more detail on what you want to achieve before maybe I can get a better answer. But it works fine as all other emails sent and received.
Thanks. And I've got one here about AI, and I think this is a two-parter, one part for Sedna and a part for GATship. So I'll take it first. And I'll hand off to you. So Joris asks, future-wise, how are you looking at a possible integration of AI auto responding? And then same for GATship, where might there be challenges or opportunities? So from the Sedna perspective, yeah, AI is obviously, a huge relevant topic, particularly in our industry. Lots of potential, lots of opportunity there. I think also lots of risk. So we're taking a very measured approach to this. We've launched an AI feature, or a couple of AI features this year actually, around kind of Copilot style email assistance, that's helping to write and draft and respond to messages. We're definitely leaning in a bit more on how we could make this a bit more of a kind of agentic style flow. So these things like auto responders, perhaps. But of course, the key is getting this to the point where machines aren't just going and making decisions on their own. There's plenty of human in the loop kind of capability with that. So it's an area we're working quite hard on at the minute to do very intentionally. And so you can expect to see through 2026 quite a few new initiatives from the Sedna side on these things, but always done kind of in collaboration with what customers are looking for, things that actually drive value rather than just AI for the sake of AI. So yeah, stay tuned for some of those. And I'll pass off to Amon to talk about the GATship side.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we are also in the AI focus, of course. We are currently working to do a lot of smart paste functionalities because using Sedna, no, sorry, using GetShip means a lot of typing. You need to type when you get nominated for a new port call. You need to type in the name and the address and the phone numbers and the email when you get a new customer, things like that. So we have implemented recently a lot of smart paste functions where you can just copy a bunch of text from emails received through Sedna or elsewhere, and you can just smart paste it when you're adding a new client, and we will kind of extract the different fields from the copy text and paste it into the different fields of GetShip. And that is, of course, very useful, especially maybe on the crew change, where you just get a list of maybe 10, 15, or even more embarking people. And instead of typing one by one of these, you can just smart paste it into a list and import it into GetShip. So
I,
currently,
I
this AI functionality is being tested by a few customers. I guess Henk is one of them.
and I can
And we are
confirm it's
planning
working
to,
perfectly. Yep.
yeah, that's good to hear. So we are planning to release that to all customers during the Q1 of 2026.
Awesome, thanks. And a question here from Ivan. Can Sedna Pulse extract the vessel ETAs from emails and upload into the software platform whiteboard? So really good question there. That's actually kind of nodding a bit more towards, some of Sedna's other kind of AI and data extraction capabilities. So Sedna does have the capability to, extract key data from messages. So this could be things like ETAs. This could be things like, cargo and vessel positions in the inbox as well in our Pulse product there. But yeah, you're absolutely right there. We can do, interconnected things with this data as well. So the capabilities there to push that out to other systems. It's not something that we're doing actively with the GATship integration today, but there's a large kind of roadmap of ideas there that we share between the businesses. So absolutely being able to kind of take some of the things that come into emails, the things you're copying and pasting and moving between systems today, and making it easier for those to be pushed more seamlessly into the other systems that you use, your operations systems, your finance systems, etc. That's definitely kind of in our scope for more of this kind of AI work that we're doing in the next few months. So yeah, good question there, and I'm sure it's something we can talk about and get excited about as we progress the integration.
Sure.
Oh, cool. One more here from Martin. Do you still require Outlook for non-port call related emails, or can Sedna be used for this as well? And if so, can mails be tagged other than with the GAT ship references? So I'll give an answer here. And Henk, I mean, you can probably attest to this as well,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
we only use Sedna. So um, uh, we use Outlook for one small thing, and that's the calendar. But of course, we all know that Rob is working on that to make a good integration there. But now, even our non-port call related emails, we use Sedna for that as well. And the tagging is, there's no restrictions on the tagging. You can make your own category tags. You can even make your own personal tags. You can have the incoming mails, automatically tagged with your own category tags, which have nothing to do with port calls. So yeah, it's very flexible.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
like to add a comment to that because, of course, you can create your own green tags outside of GetShip. But within GetShip, I simplified it today by showing the port call process. But there are a lot of other green tags from GetShip as well. If you, for example, do communications directly with one of your clients, which is not related to a specific port call, there will be a green client tag. If you create PDAs before you get port calls, there will be separate PDA tags. So it's a lot more than only the green tags for port calls.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So your team email, it's great for that. Your solo mail, your other kind of departments, Sender can support that too, and everything works nicely together. So good question. There's a couple more here. So we've got one from, there's three more. So hopefully we should just have enough time to fit these in. One from Renee, returning to my previous question to Amund, we have the function to create flex docs, document types tags in Sedna. I see my colleagues have already made a few. With these, we can tag attachments in the emails. Would it be possible to get it to automatically move to the documents folder that the job tag is connected with? So I heard what you said earlier, and I'll advise my colleagues about it that way. So I think I'm on this is kind of thinking about another Sedna feature, which is the ability to kind of tag documents specifically attached to emails, and then I guess do things with those within GATShip based on that classification. I believe we're not, quite at that level yet, but maybe something we can explore for future.
Yeah, I guess so. As I said, I'm no expert to Sedna, so this is actually the first time I hear about Flex document type tags in Sedna. So we have on a roadmap to improve the functionality for handling attachments. So maybe this is something that we could look into.
Awesome. Yeah, we will. One from Guido here to Amund. Does the GATShip Sedna integration allow for adding third-party invoices coming in by email directly to the expenses module for the relevant port call? So, for example, you receive a pilot invoice for a vessel's incoming movement. Can you add this straight to the correct expense line of the related port call at this time?
No, sorry. The integration does not support that. This is a very good question, actually, because handling the huge amount of incoming emails with supplier invoices is a huge job for the agents. Our strategy for that is to lean on other best-of-breed solutions. There are, for example, a Norwegian partner we have called iShare. There's a Dutch one called Scansys. Several kind of vendors that are experts in handling incoming invoices, and they are also integrated with GetShip. So there's a slightly different workflow, but it's true kind of third-party systems that are experts on handling incoming invoices.
Cool. And then a couple more at the end here. I think these maybe it's a GATShip Customers Anonymous question. Amon, maybe for you. Would it be possible to have a demo arranged about this smart pace/fill functions related to the crew change process?
Sure. we don't have the time to do that now, but please reach out to support@gatship.com, and I'm sure one of my colleagues can have a short demo of this.
Awesome. And the final one is we're missing also the function for drag and drop of attachments from Sedna to GATship document tab. This would really help.
Yeah,
So another
that's
plus one on that.
some of the things I meant when I said that we are discussing for the future roadmap to handle the attachments in a better way. So we have, I guess the question is because in customers using Outlook, they can drag and drop the attachment of an email directly into GetShip, but currently we don't support that for Sedna, but I'm sure we can find a way to do it.
Absolutely. Cool. Great questions, folks. I think that wraps up the Q&A, unless there's anything else from anyone else. And if not, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Thank you to GATship, to Saar, to Ella and Charlotte Sedna, and to all of you who made the time for the call today.
Thank you. And thanks to you as well, Rob. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Take
Thank
care,
you all.
everyone.
Thank you.
See you
Take
soon.
care. Bye.